Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. It's Jo of SportsGrid and it's time for Puck It with Jo. We have a lot of games to go over, 11 games on today's slate. Plenty of opportunities to make some money. I hope everyone's having a good day so far. I see your comments coming in, so thank you for being here. Let's get this, James and Matt. It's time to get going. We're going to start off with the first game here, the Minnesota Wild taking on the Boston Bruins. Now, in this one, the Wild come in on the second night of a back-to-back. All odds are over at FanDuel, you guys, and in this one, we're seeing the Minnesota Wild at plus 180. So much value on a solid team here, but against the Boston Bruins, I'm not sure if I can get there. The Boston Bruins rolling in here at minus a 220. We have a total of 5.5. Now that 5.5 juice to that over at minus 128. If you trust in this one going under with defenses controlling this game, you can take the under 5.5 at plus 104. Okay, where are we going to go with this one? I think the Boston Bruins are the right side of this matchup. They come into this one rested, and we have Minnesota on that second night of a back-to-back. They lost last night in a hard-fought game to the Pittsburgh Penguins. That was a 4-3 loss. Marc-Andre Fleury is confirmed in goal tonight for the Minnesota Wild, and we have Allmark here for the Boston Bruins. We definitely have the goaltending advantage going in Boston's favor, and we also have their ability to convert on those power plays. If the Minnesota Wild take those penalties, then the Boston Bruins are going to win this one and win this one heavily. Now, lines have moved quite a bit. It was minus 182 earlier in the day for this one. How can we find value now? Well, I do think we look at the Boston Bruins on the puck line in the first period. Let's just see how much that has moved, because earlier in the day, I did like that puck line value. Just bear with me while I find it over here at FanDuel. The first period puck line coming in for the Boston Bruins at plus 128. I like that first period puck line. We're getting a lot of value there. I can see the Boston Bruins opening up really quick in this one, getting a fast one off over the Minnesota Wild with Marc-Andre Fleury in goal. Now, when we look here, yes, the value is on the Wild, but this team struggles offensively at the best of days. And I really do think they'll have tired legs out there on the ice. You can look at the Boston Bruins in regulation with how much that line has adjusted. I don't love the value that you're going to get with the Boston Bruins for the full game in reg. And I do think this one goes over that 5.5. I think Marc-Andre Fleury is good for allowing at least 3 goals here, more likely 4. And then we just need a couple out of the Wild. So if we see this one go 4-2, that's what I'm expecting. So look at the Boston Bruins in reg. Look at that puck line for the first period. I do think they probably cover the puck line of the full game as well, laying the 1.5 on that puck line in the first period, or sorry, for the full game at plus 114, first period at plus 128, and that's only that half a goal there. So you just look at the Bruins. They're so phenomenally strong, you guys. Their kill coming in at 88.3. They're able to convert on that power play as well at 24.2. Huge leap up from the Minnesota Wild, who do spend a lot of time in that box as well. So I do think a rested Boston team is dangerous. David Pastrnak, definitely someone you want to circle here. For his points for his anytime goal tonight, he's coming into this game with 41 points in 26 games. He's been absolutely phenomenal for the Bruins. So I do like him in this case. Hey, Jimmy, nice to see you here. Let's make some freaking money. You are so right. I'm so glad to see you guys here with me tonight. You're taking 5 units on the Boston Bruins, and I can't say that's a bad bet. It's a fantastic bet. I really do think Boston is primed to get a nice big win, especially with Zaka back in the lineup. You are so correct there. I just don't trust the Wild once they go into that box. Now, McAvoy is still out. Charlie McAvoy, I was just drawing a blank on his first name, is still out on the defensive side of the puck for the Boston Bruins. So I do expect the Wild to get a couple of opportunities on net in this one, get a couple of those goals. So that's another reason I'm leaning towards that over. But I do think the Boston Bruins can win this in a 4-2 matchup. So that puck line first period full game, it's going to be a great game, or just in reg. You guys, probably the safer bet of the two. Let's look at the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Buffalo Sabres. Now, this game kicks off at 7:10 Eastern with the Columbus Blue Jackets at plus 162. The Buffalo Sabres coming in here at minus 196, total of 6.5. Now, that 6.5 juiced highly to that over at minus 148, but I do think this one is a constant battle out there offensively of these two, neither of these offenses really instill a lot of faith in either of them. Levi in net tonight for the Buffalo Sabres. He's got a 3.06 goals against average, a .898 save percentage. Now, he's had some fantastic games, but he's really had some bad ones. We're looking here at the Columbus Blue Jackets. They've got Tarasov starting tonight. Now, he's got a 5.07 goals against average. It is not pretty, you guys, and a .828 save percentage. I expect these offenses to really step up. Now, looking at their power plays, neither power play is elite. We've got a 15.4% conversion rate for the Columbus Blue Jackets and a 13.5% for the Buffalo Sabres. Now, both of these teams do have their playmakers offensively. We really need to see Johnny Gaudreau step up for the Columbus Blue Jackets. We just haven't seen that out of him. I do think he probably gets on the scoreboard tonight. Adam Fantilli as well. I really like here for Columbus. And when we're looking at the other side of the puck for the Buffalo Sabres, Tage Thompson, you guys know he is always good for a couple goals. Could Tage Thompson get a hat trick tonight? That's just something that popped into my head. Might be worth a quick look at Tage Thompson for the hat trick because I don't trust Columbus's goalie coming out. Now, if you're looking at Ales Tuch here for the Sabres as well, he's back in the lineup, and I like him to come out nice and strong. So give me the over 6.5. I do think that first period, we're going to see a couple goals. I'm going to look at both teams to score in the first period. The first period over 1.5. I do think this one is just a crazy back and forth battle. Now, the Columbus Blue Jackets actually have won 6 of the last 10 against Buffalo. So they've been strong. And I think they could probably come out and get this one done tonight. So looking here, give me Columbus. I just value-wise, you guys, on that money line. Give me the over 1.5 in the first period. Give me both teams to score in the first period, and then look at those goalie prop or the player props for those guys because I really do see these goals coming in tonight. Okay, let's look here at the Vegas Golden Knights. The Vegas Golden Knights are taking on the Carolina Hurricanes. This is such an attractive price on Vegas tonight. Vegas coming in at plus 116. Now we have minus 140 on Carolina, total 6.5. 6.5 juice to that under at minus 134, plus 110. If you think these teams will have an offensive instead of defensive battle, this is going to be a fantastic game. I really do think tonight. We have Thompson expected in net for the Vegas Golden Knights. This team is so deep, and their offense really does come at defenses and goaltenders in complete waves. This team does not give up, and, well, they won the Stanley Cup last year, you guys. Vegas at this price, I want to jump on them, but I feel like this is almost a trap. I feel like the books know something, making Carolina the favorite. They've lost the last 2. They got shut or in the shootout versus the Capitals. It was a 2-1 loss on Sunday. We have Vegas coming in here off that win over the Senators 6-3 on Sunday. So both of these teams having the same amount of rest. We look at their schedules ahead of them. This is Vegas's first game of a 4-game road trip. They have the Lightning on Thursday, the Panthers on Saturday, and then after Christmas. It's so crazy to look at schedules and think already after Christmas. After Christmas, they'll face the Anaheim Ducks on Wednesday. When we look at the schedule here for the Carolina Hurricanes, we're looking at the Preds at home on Thursday, the Islanders on the road on Saturday, and then the Preds back on the road on Wednesday after Christmas. This team is kind of in shambles. We had Ranta be sent down to the if I can talk today, oh my God, to the AHL. So I'm looking at this team, and I really do think the fear of these players to not get moved off this team is probably there. This team really needs to get things together. They have a phenomenal kill. Their kill coming in at 80.6%, and the kill of the Vegas Golden Knights at 85.9%. I'm expecting both of these teams to lock down completely defensively. We look at the shots on goal that Carolina is allowing. It's only right around that 25 mark, you guys. And Vegas, pretty solid at 29.8. So I'm looking for defenses to lock down. I just hate that price on that under, but I do think this is what we see. Now, if you're looking at the Carolina Hurricanes, in any situation, I think in that first period, there's value on Carolina to come out strong in that first period. We've seen them at home strong in that first period, winning 37 of their last 50 games in the first period there. So a definite value first period for them. Let me just look at that number. Now, if I was doing first period, you could do money line coming in. It's minus 136 for Carolina in the first period on the money line. I prefer to just lay that puck line. It's either you win or you don't. I don't like that money line there. So the puck line in the first period minus a half a goal is coming in at plus 162. I'd rather do that. And then you're chancing, though, 0-0 first period. So if you did the money line, you get the push. Okay, let's look at the next game. The Philadelphia Flyers taking on the New Jersey Devils. Now, the New Jersey Devils, the favorite at home, minus 170. This was actually minus 176 earlier in the day. We have plus 140 here for a Flyers team that's so determined and never gives up in these games. I'm actually really impressed with what we've seen out of them as of late. Now, total of 6.5. That's 6.5, minus 108 to the over, minus 112 to the over. If you think the New Jersey Devils can get a big win, that puck line laying a goal and a half is plus 140. The Flyers, to keep it tight, no value, you guys, plus 1.5 at minus 170. I can't get behind that, but when you look at the Flyers on the road, absolutely phenomenal on that puck line. They've gone 10-2 on the puck line on the road versus the Devils, who haven't been able to cover that puck line at home. Only one of their 12 home games have they covered that puck line. So even when they're getting the win, they're not blowing teams out when they're at home. Now, they lost their last game 5-1 to the Anaheim Ducks. Do I really want to put my money on a team that just lost to the Anaheim Ducks? And yes, there should be a bounce back. When they lost to the Anaheim Ducks, so they were on the second night of a back-to-back. So the tired legs were there. They had the Oilers on deck on Thursday and then the Red Wings on Saturday. When we look at the Philadelphia Flyers schedule here, this is a one-off road trip. So they've been at home. They lost that last game to the Red Wings 2-1 on Saturday. They have the Preds at home on Thursday and then the Red Wings back on the road on Friday. So I don't want to fade them here. I do think they're going to have a really hard game versus the Red Wings on the road on Friday, especially off that back-to-back. That's already a look ahead for me that I'm going to be betting the Red Wings on Friday just because of the scheduling here for the Flyers. But I do think this is going to be a battle of two different styles of teams. And now while the Philadelphia Flyers have been getting those goals as of late, averaging 2.9 goals per game, 32.8 shots, I don't think that will be their game plan here versus the New Jersey Devils. They cannot win this versus the New Jersey Devils by firing and not playing a strong defensive game, because the New Jersey Devils, this team, their power play converts at 30.5%, so the Flyers have to stay out of the box. They also average 31.9 shots on goal and 3.48 goals per game. The Flyers really have to limit what the Devils are able to do offensively. Play a strong defensive game in this one. They're only allowing 28.4 shots on goal per game, which is fourth best overall in the league. And their kill coming in at 86.5%. So as long as we can get a strong defensive game out of the Devils, I do think that they can win this one. The Devils just are inconsistent, and there's so many inconsistencies, especially on their defense, that I can't trust them, even though I want to. You guys know how much I like the New Jersey Devils. So Ershon is confirmed in goal for the Flyers. I really wanted Carter Hart, but at this price, I have to put money on the Flyers at plus 140. I tell you, this is a hard one to go against. What are we looking at here? I'm just seeing your guys' comments. Carr can be sneaky. Okay. I can't let the Knights a plus money. Yeah, it's really hard not to take the Vegas Golden Knights with that plus money. It just looks too beautiful tonight. Tage Thompson, over 3 shots on goal, minus 112. I like that. And then touch over 2.5. I like where you're going with that, Kelly. Great bets there. Kev, happy Tuesday. It's Tuesday, right, you guys? Man, drew a blank there for a second. Let's look at the next game here, you guys. 11 games on the board today. Let me know what you're liking, what you're betting. The St. Louis Blues versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now, this one kicks off at 7:10 Eastern as well. We have the St. Louis Blues, after firing their coach, winning their last two, rolling in here at plus 146. The Tampa Bay Lightning at minus 178, total 6.5. 6.5 juice to the over at minus 118, minus 104 to the under. When I look at this right away, I do think if the locations were reversed, I'd have a lot more faith in the St. Louis Blues. This will be their first game after firing the coach that they're out on the road. So those last two were home wins that they were able to get. They got the win over the Stars in overtime. It was pretty impressive, 4-3 win in their last game out. The Tampa Bay Lightning are a team on the road I don't have a lot of faith in, but I have more faith in them in their own arena. So I do like them here at home. Just a way to find value on this we've got to look at. I do think in regulation is where I would take the Tampa Bay Lightning. So you're laying more juice, because right now at minus 178, I can't get there. Let me just pull up the regulation line for you guys. The 60-minute three-way coming in at minus 120. I don't mind that at all. I do think they can win this in reg. Binghamton expected in net for the St. Louis Blues, and Andre Vasilevsky here for the Tampa Bay Lightning. This is the first game home off a five-game road trip, though, for the Tampa Bay Lightning. They did lose that last one to Calgary after beating the Edmonton Oilers, so they lost 4-2 versus Calgary in that last one. But I think they get back on track here against the St. Louis Blues. I just don't see this hot streak continuing for the St. Louis Blues. Now, I think another way to take it, instead of just taking that in regulation, is you can take the Tampa Bay Lightning's team total over 3.5. It's coming in at minus 122. And while I do think defense will really lock down for St. Louis, I don't trust their kill. It's right around 79.8. We have a really strong power play here for the Lightning. So the St. Louis Blues don't take a lot of penalties, but I do think the Lightning will be able to take advantage of them if they do. Their power play converting at 30.1%, second best overall in the league. So look for the Lightning to have the advantage on the power play. There's no power play. Well, it's barely a power play here for the St. Louis Blues, only converting on 9.2%. The kill of Tampa is sitting at 80%. So this should be an interesting battle between these two, one that I really do say that they can get the win at home. Okay, let's move on to the next game here. We have the New York Rangers taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Okay, this will be interesting here. Original six battle, you guys. We've got the Toronto Maple Leafs, the favorite, or no, they're not the favorite home. Minus 105 here. Minus 114 for the Rangers, total 6.5. Minus 114 to the over, minus 106 to the under 6.5. If you think the Rangers can cover that puck line today, laying 1.5 at plus 205. Of course, no value on the Toronto Maple Leafs to cover the puck line. You'd have to do reverse puck line here. Earlier in the day, this line has completely flipped. Toronto was minus 120, and I was getting plus 105 for the New York Rangers. I still like the value on the New York Rangers here. I think they will be able to get some revenge. We saw these teams match up back on December 7th, or no, 12th. December 12th, and Toronto blew New York out of the water. I remember that one hard because I had the Rangers in that game. I believe Toronto was on the second night of a back-to-back. I thought it was going to be a hard game for them to be able to get the win, but they absolutely did. They blew the Rangers out. It was a 7-3 win. And they've won the two prior games versus the Rangers. So when you start looking at it, you know, winning the last three, you got to wonder if they really do have the New York Rangers number. But I can't get behind Toronto with Martin Jones. And I know I've said that and they've won with him, but I don't trust Martin Jones in net. While he's being solid, I'm just waiting for that team to really hit him hard and him to be yanked off the ice. Could I see it tonight with the New York Rangers? I absolutely could. Igor Shesterkin in net for them. I think he has a better performance than the last couple that we've seen out of him. Now, they've won their last two games. They got that overtime win versus the Bruins. It was a 2-1 win on the road. And I tell you, that was Saturday night. Scott Wetzel and myself were live on air. We tried to get the Rangers when they were down 1-0 versus the Boston Bruins. It was like plus 330 on the money line for the Rangers. We couldn't get it in time. It's basically like as soon as we started saying it, the lines locked up. The Rangers scored, tied it up. it went to OT and the Rangers won. So I was kicking myself. Live betting these games, you guys, it has been money. Looking at the Rangers, they're home Friday versus the Oilers, Saturday versus the Sabres. So they're on that back-to-back on Friday and Saturday. I would be fading the Rangers on that Saturday game versus the Sabres. Then looking here at the Toronto Maple Leafs. They've got the Sabres on deck on the road on Thursday, Blue Jackets on Saturday. So there's no real look-ahead concerns for the Toronto Maple Leafs, but I do think the Rangers get revenge in this one. Chris Kreider has been absolutely fantastic out there for the Rangers. You could look at him for his points tonight, his anytime goal. I do like it. I do think this game has the opportunity of going to OT, though. I like it to the over because of that. I think 3-3 going to overtime. We know the Toronto Maple Leafs have been giving up those goals. The Rangers have allowed 4 or more goals in 6 of their last 11 games as well, while the Maple Leafs have been scoring a ton of goals. So the Rangers' way of winning here, they have to find those weaknesses on Martin Jones and his net, because we know Toronto's going to bring everything they've got at Igor tonight. So I do think 3-3 go into overtime, pushes us over that total. 4-3 win for the Rangers is what I'm expecting tonight. This game to go to overtime is plus 350. I love that, plus 350 to go to overtime. You're going with the Flyers for the upset. Yeah, Matt Milt, I do think the Flyers can get the upset tonight. So Panarin over 3.5 shots on goal. Yeah, Panarin should be able to come out nice and solid. New York for the revenge. My Raiders friend. Have a wonderful night, Jay. Okay, let's get moving here, you guys. The next game, the Edmonton Oilers are taking on the New York Islanders. Current lines on FanDuel. The Oilers coming in as a favorite at minus 146. Now, plus 122 for the Islanders if you think they can get this win at home. Total 6.5, minus 140 to the over 6.5. I hate the juice we're laying on the over 6.5, but I can't see this one staying under that total. We look at both of these teams and everyone keeps saying Edmonton is back. Sure, Edmonton is only back if they can outscore their opponents because, again, we still have the issues with their goaltending. Stuart Skinner is no star in net. This team needs a really solid goaltender that can put up and save all of these shots, and it's just not Skinner. So I look at this matchup, I feel for the Edmonton Oilers, I know that this team has been locking down defensively, only allowing 28.5 shots on goal per game. The Islanders have been scoring as of late. This team is really turning itself around. This is a team that we used to know for a really strong defensive team that has been stepping up offensively. Now they're averaging 3.1 goals per game. The Edmonton Oilers coming in averaging 3.43. The power play here for the Islanders is actually 7th best overall in the league at 25.3%. We got 4th best over here for Edmonton at 28.4. Now, when we look at the kills, Edmonton actually has a better kill at 79.4. It's not a brilliant kill, and the kill here for the Islanders really lets them down at 70.4. So if the Islanders get in that box, which we know they will here versus Edmonton, Edmonton is going to convert. I expect those goals to come out of the strong offensive unit of Edmonton. Looking at the Islanders, though, I expect these goals as well. So I completely understand this minus 140 to the over 6.5. I think you got to find another way to play it. Looking at that first period, over 1.5. Let me just get current odds on this because we have seen movement on that total. The first period total goals, over 1.5 minus 152. See, it's unbettable, you guys. Both teams to score in the first period. I don't hate here because I do think the Islanders will score on Skinner and Sorokin. Sorokin is strong, but I expect that goal to come early out of Edmonton. We know this team needs to score first to be able to get that morale boost and be able to win these games. So both teams to score in the first period coming in at plus 142. You guys know as soon as I look at an Edmonton game, I love that goal in the first 5 minutes. The goal in the first 5 minutes coming in at plus 154, I think holds so much value in this one. My problem with backing the Islanders on their home ice, and I do like them on their home ice, they're sitting 8-3-4 on their home ice, is their kill here, the power play of Edmonton, should be able to convert on the Islanders when they take those penalties. So it's a scary situation here for the Islanders, but I do think this is another game that has the possibility of going to OT, especially if we can see the Islanders goalie Sorokin here really locked down, because we know Edmonton's going to have every opportunity to hit him and hit him hard. We have an Islanders team that allows their goaltender to be peppered. Their current numbers for allowed shots on goal, 35.7. They need to improve defensively. They really need to step up and give Sorokin that support. So I don't think I could look here at the Islanders, even though I want to, even though I could see the opportunity. There's too many opportunities that they're going to give Edmonton to score. And you've got Connor McDavid getting those high danger shots on this team. They're going to go in. So, Kev, which one are you thinking the draw? First period over. I agree with you. Yeah, the over 6.5. Leon Draisaitl, absolutely. Look at him for that anytime goal. The New York Rangers team total over 3.5, John. I actually really like the New York Rangers team total over 3.5. We know the Toronto Maple Leafs have been allowing those goals to come in, especially with Martin Jones in net. And then I look at this Rangers team, and they've been able to find the back of the net as of late. So I do think that is a good one. Yeah, Edmonton off 2 losses is definitely a dangerous team. Zabanajad here for the point, minus 195 to bet, or Tavares point. I like Tavares better, Kelly, for the point in this one tonight. Both teams come out fast. Yeah, that quick goal in the first 5 minutes, I absolutely like. Okay, we're going with the goal in the first 5 minutes. I love that you guys are agreeing with that. Edmonton is absolutely going to be hungry. It's all going to weigh on Sorokin's shoulders tonight. Okay, Edmonton over 1 for the parlay piece. I like that. Absolutely do. We know Edmonton loves to come out so nice and fast in these games. Now, both of these teams trend to the over. In the last 12 games, we've seen Edmonton allow 12 goals. In the last 2 games, last 2 games, Edmonton has allowed those 12 goals, and the Islanders can't keep the puck out of the back of their net as well. Their last 6 games at home, we've seen an average score of 8 goals. So what I might look at is extending that total to maybe over 7.5. I don't know. We're going to get more value there. I just hate laying minus 140, you guys. I would look at that first period. Highly explosive, though. I do think that, I don't know. I just wish Skinner was a stronger goaltender. That's all I wish. Okay. Let's look at the next game here, you guys. We have the Vancouver Canucks. Now, the Vancouver Canucks are on the road tonight, just trying to find odds, taking on the Nashville Predators. We have Vancouver at plus 104, the Nashville Predators at minus 125, total 6.5 at minus 120, minus 102 to the under. I can't take this one over or under the total. I'm going to have to take it over. Casey DeSmith in net for the Vancouver Canucks. And we look at the Vancouver Canucks here. They're off that win versus the Chicago Blackhawks, but they only won that on Sunday by 1 goal. It was a 4-3 game. Their defense didn't do as much as I would like to see. And I think with Casey DeSmith, this is being their 3rd game on the road as well. We're going to see tired legs here for Vancouver. I do think with what we've seen out of Nashville as of late, the Nashville Predators can get this win at home. Now, we're getting the Nashville Predators. They were minus 114 earlier in the day. They're now minus 125. I still think there's value on them to be able to come out nice and strong. I trust in Saros in net for the Preds. Maybe the Predators team total might be a better way to look than this full game over that 6.5, because I do think it's the Predators that can capitalize in this game. Now, these teams did play in October. We saw Vancouver get the win 5-2. JT Miller and Elias Pettersson here for Vancouver are playing incredibly strong. But then we look at the other side of the puck, and I really like what we've seen out of Ryan O'Reilly and Philip Forsberg. It seems like the Nashville Predators are a strong team that really no one gives enough respect out there. This team is averaging 3.16 goals per game and 30 shots on goal. Their power play is only converting on 21.2% though. So I wish this power play was a little stronger as well as their kill, but Vancouver and Nashville have pretty similar kills, right around the 76%. The power play is a bit stronger here for Vancouver, but like I said, I do think this is their third road game here. I'm expecting tired legs. They have the Stars on deck on Thursday to finish off this road trip. The Preds here have the Flyers on deck on Thursday, so no real look ahead. They've won 6 of their last 8 games at home. I just cannot fade this team at the moment, and they won the last 3 matchups before this one versus Vancouver. So I think they have every opportunity to be able to get the win. If they get the win, they go over their team total. I expect this one to go over the team total, though, because we know Vancouver is good for a couple of goals, but I think Saros absolutely stands on his head. Okay, Milt, you're going with the under in this one. Minus 125 or minus 130. Yeah, I like the Preds here on the money line at that. No more Dedmonton. Yeah, we got to start calling them Dedmonton again. They haven't cost us enough money yet the last couple of weeks to be calling them Dedmonton, but we'll get back to that, Kelly. Don't you worry. So big shout out. New York Islanders injuries on defensemen. Yeah, they do have injuries. That total is going to fly over the total. I would not be shocked if Edmonton in that first period put up 3 quick ones on Sorokin, and then Sorokin got his feet under him, because the pace of the Edmonton Oilers are going to come out and fire on him is going to be nonstop to start that game. The Islanders just defense. This is a defense that completely is struggling out there. Okay. The Colorado Avalanche taking on the Chicago Blackhawks. Now the Avs, minus 235 right now in FanDuel. Man, that's pricey. Plus 190 here for the Chicago Blackhawks. Total 6.5 juice to that under. Minus 130 to the under. Plus 106 to the over. I think you look at the Avs team total. I don't know how much faith I have in Chicago to score. Now, they did get the 3 goals versus Vancouver in their last loss. That was on Sunday. It was a 4-3 loss, but I don't know here versus Colorado if they can. Now, Cale Makar is listed as day-to-day, which is a huge for the Avs. I really like what we see out of him out there on the ice. This team, though, has so much depth and so much ability. I do think they can easily go over that 3.5 goals. Minus 128 is where we're getting that price. They got over this in 7 of the last 10 matchup versus the Chicago Blackhawks. And the Avs have scored 21 goals in their last 5 games. So I'm expecting these goals on Chicago. Chicago allowing, again, their goaltender to be absolutely pummeled at 32.4 shots on goal per game. The Chicago Blackhawks also have a terrible kill at 75.8%. So I think Colorado's the only way I can go with this. There's no look ahead here. They play the Senators at home on Thursday. They've won 8 of the last 10 matchups versus Chicago as well. There was both of those actually were shutout wins. The one in October, 4-0, and I believe the one before that last season was 5-0 over the Chicago Blackhawks. So I do think they have a prime opportunity to cover the puck line. Now, they're only 5-9 on the puck line here on the road, but I don't know. I think this puck line minus 1.5 at plus 104 is nice value for the Chicago Blackhawks here. For the Colorado Avs. I started reading your guys' comments. That's what happens when I start reading. Forsberg, been on fire. Absolutely. You can look at Philip Forsberg there. I like him. McKinnon for the anytime goal, you guys. I do like that, coming in at minus 105. Okay, the Ottawa Senators, the Arizona Coyotes. If you did not hear, they did fire DJ Smith. They now have Martin in place for him. If you believe in the fire coach situation for this team, then the Ottawa Senators should be able to get the win tonight over the Arizona Coyotes. This just happened last night, though. This is a hard situation. The Ottawa Senators coming in at minus 130, plus 108 for the Arizona Coyotes. Total 6.5 at minus 110 either way. You guys know how much I like the Arizona Coyotes at home in Mullet Arena. This is a young, frisky team. There is about 20 deers walking outside of my house right now. Sorry for the distraction, you guys. Huge family herd of deers, and they just keep coming. It's like maybe it's apocalypse or something. This is kind of creepy. Let's get back to this game, though. Sorry. You guys know I squirrel. I like Clayton Keller here for the Arizona Coyotes. I also really love what we've seen out of Logan Cooley. I'd look at him for those points tonight. Clayton Keller has had a point in 5 of his last 10 games, 26 points on the season. So if anyone's going to get on the board, I really do have faith in him. We got Connor Ingram in net for the Arizona Coyotes versus Corpusalo here for the Senators. The Senators have lost their last 4. They lost that last one to Vegas 6-3. And we have the Arizona Coyotes have won their last 2. They got that win over the Sabres 2-0. I believe that was on Saturday. So it's game 4 of our 5-game road trip here for the Senators. This is a hard place for me to get behind this coach when he just took over as of last night yesterday, and they've been on the road. This team has so many playmakers, though, and I almost would prefer them if we didn't have the coaching change tonight. And I know that sounds crazy. Josh Norris, Brady Tkachuk, Vladimir Tarasenko, playmakers across the board for this team. The Avs are on deck on Thursday for them. The Sharks on the road on Thursday for the Coyotes. I'm going to take the first period over 1.5. I'm going to take both teams to score in the first period because I do think we get the best out of both teams in the first period. That's coming in at plus 160, but I can't go against the Arizona Coyotes here at home. They won 4 of their last 5 at home. They won 7 of their last 10 at home, and they've won 4 of their last 7 against the Senators. It's the Coyotes for me. I know that the fired coaching really does come into effect, but I just can't get there. Okay. That's a storyline that should favor the Senators. It absolutely is. I just don't know if I can get behind it. You're welcome, Jimmy. Under in Zona. Yeah, this one absolutely could go under, Derek, between these two. So that total 6.5, minus 110 to the under, minus 110 to the over. The Arizona Coyotes are now plus 108 on that money line. They were minus 105 when I bet them earlier today. You know, I look at this one. Both of these teams have been scoring a lot of goals and allowing those goals to come in. I don't know if I love this total, but I do love the Arizona Coyotes on the money line. Everything is telling me that everyone's going to be on Ottawa just because of the fired coaching situation, and I'm not buying into it. It does sound like a Netflix movie. They're all eating away at the trees outside, so they're hungry little deers. Okay, let's look at the next game here. We have the LA Kings. Okay, they're taking on the San Jose Sharks, and this was one where earlier in the day I thought we'd see Cam Talbot. We now have David Reach in net. Now, he was promoted up from the AHL. He played versus the San Jose Sharks back in September. He only allowed 1 goal and 35 shots on goal. So, can he have the same performance after being down at the AHL again? I'm not sure. This Sharks team has really turned themselves back around. That game back in September, it's not the Sharks team we've seen to date. So Mackenzie Blackwood expected in net tonight for the San Jose Sharks. We know Mackenzie Blackwood. He's either solid or he's not, normally not. The LA Kings, they won the last game over the Kraken. It was in a shootout on Saturday, 3-2. This is their first night of a back-to-back. They have the Kraken on deck tomorrow. I think this is a look ahead for the LA Kings. Now, the only way I like the LA Kings is in the first period. First period puck line, LA Kings coming in at plus 112. But then I think this look ahead situation will allow the Sharks the opportunity to capitalize. I'm going to take the Sharks on the money line right now. Current odds on this one. Minus 275 here for the Kings, plus 220 for the Sharks. So plus 1.5 on that puck line, minus 110. I'm going to take the puck line, plus 1.5 at minus 110. I'm going to take the money line for a sprinkle at plus 220. This total is 6.5 juice to the under at minus 120. I do think I'm going to stay off the total. I think the Kings will end up looking ahead to the next matchup with the Seattle Kraken, especially with the shootout the last time these teams did play versus each other. The Kings won the last 4 matchups, so the Sharks know they actually have to come out completely on fire to start this game. But I do think the Kings will get the best of Mackenzie Blackwood to start and then try to lock down defensively. And I think that's where we'll see the Sharks actually be able to capitalize. So give me the +1.5. They're sitting 7-6 on that puck line at home. And yes, the Kings are so phenomenally strong. 7-2 on the road. Look ahead situation is the only reason I'm getting behind the San Jose Sharks. And plus what we've seen the teams they've been able to beat. So we actually have seen these teams trend to the over when they match up versus each other. So I could see this one going over the total. Thomas Hertl here, if you're looking for someone on the Sharks to be able to get the goal, he's been really strong for us. He's got at least a point in 7 of the last 10 games. And on the other side of the puck, Kempe, I love to target for the LA Kings here. He's gone over half a goal in 7 of his last 10 as well. So this should be one where the Kings come out firing right out of the gate. Okay, you're seeing the different goalie matchup. That's okay. I'm still okay with that. I think the Kings first period is the best bet for them. Whenever I'm fading a team because of their matchup on the next night of a back-to-back, we know it didn't work versus the Rangers before they had Toronto on deck the next day. We've had a lot of these situations where the teams go, okay, this is my best chance of getting the win. Let's play our heart out here instead of looking ahead. But I think here the Kings versus the Sharks team that's so hungry will struggle in the third period. Okay, everyone's seeing him in. So that's fine. New coach for the win. Yeah, Jimmy, I can go back to the Rangers in just a minute. I am taking the Rangers over the Toronto Maple Leafs for sure. I think they have every opportunity of getting that win. So you guys, that is everything. Just for anyone who did miss that Rangers game, what I'm taking in that one is I'm pretty sure I got a player prop. Yeah, Chris Kreider. I like Chris Kreider for the anytime goal. I do like the opportunity of overtime between these two at +350 between the Rangers and the Leafs. But I do think the Rangers on the money line is a really solid play. I am glad that you made some money on Montreal. Yeah, there are some games to be cautious of today for sure. Kelly riding with the first period parlay. Edmonton with Bouchard for the point. Forsberg, Nashville point -195. Best of luck to everyone and best of luck to you, Kelly, as well. You guys, thank you so much. Let's make some puckin' money today. Let's make some frickin' money out there on the ice. I like saying puckin' money. It's kind of fun. I'll see you back here tomorrow, same time, 5:30 Eastern. We'll go over all of the games. I wish you all the best. Good luck with your final Christmas shopping, everything that you've got going on tonight. I'm going to head out right now and finish some stuff up. You guys, all the best in all of your bets. Remember, if you're looking for all of my content, make sure you go over and follow me on SportsGrid for all of that. Can't believe it's already Wednesday, December 19th. You guys have a great day. I will see you tomorrow.